Welcome to Divas Patter presentation on the impact of Agentic AI on business organizations. Every generation of business leaders faces a technological shift that changes the rules of competition. In the 19th century, the steam engine transformed industries and economies. In the early 20th century, electricity and mass production reshaped how organizations operated and scaled. Toward the end of the 20th century, computers and the internet revolutionized the way information was managed and shared. Today, organizations are confronting another major transformation: agentic artificial intelligence. Many executives initially view AI as simply another software. This perspective is understandable because organizations have spent decades improving performance through new applications, ERP systems, CRM platforms, and various forms of process automation. However, agentic AI represents something fundamentally different. It is not merely a more advanced software application, it is a new way of transforming organizational knowledge into operational capability. To understand its significance, it is helpful to place agentic AI within the broader context of previous technological revolutions. The visual metaphor here is a strategic compass. Business leaders do not only need more tools, they need direction. Looking at the major technological revolutions helps us understand what kind of shift agentic AI may represent. Steam changed what organizations could produce physically. Electricity and assembly lines changed how production could be scaled. Computers and the internet changed how information could be stored, processed, and shared. Agentic AI introduces a different possibility: systems that can use knowledge, support decisions, and collaborate with people in pursuit of organizational goals. The question for leadership is therefore strategic, not only technical. The first industrial revolution transformed economies by replacing human and animal labor with machines. The steam engine enabled organizations to produce more goods while relying on fewer physical resources. During this period, competitive advantage came not from the number of workers an organization employed, but from its ability to harness productive machinery. Companies that embraced mechanization expanded rapidly, while those that resisted gradually lost their competitive position. The key lesson from this era was clear: when a new technology dramatically increases productivity, organizations that adopt it early often gain a significant advantage over their competitors. The introduction of electricity and assembly line production triggered a second wave of transformation. The breakthrough was not simply the availability of a new source of power, but the opportunity to redesign entire production systems. Factories became more efficient, production costs declined, and organizations gained the ability to serve larger markets. The most successful companies were not necessarily those that purchased the newest equipment. Rather, they were the organizations that redesigned their processes and operating models around the capabilities of the new technology. This period reinforced an important lesson: technology creates value only when organizations change the way they work. The arrival of computers and the internet transformed information management on a global scale. Organizations gained the ability to store, process, and distribute information more efficiently than ever before. ERP systems integrated business operations, CRM platforms organized customer relationships, and countless software applications automated administrative tasks. These technologies significantly improved efficiency and access to information. However, they shared an important limitation: they managed information but did not truly understand it. Human workers remained responsible for interpreting data, making decisions, and connecting information from different sources to generate meaningful insights. Traditional software is extremely useful, but it normally follows predefined rules. It can store information, retrieve information, and process information in predictable ways. What it does not usually do is understand the business context in a human sense. This is why people remain central to decision-making. They interpret data, weigh priorities, connect signals from different sources, and decide what should happen next. Agentic AI becomes important because it starts to reduce the gap between information processing and knowledge-based action. Agentic AI represents the next stage in this evolution. Traditional software follows predefined rules and executes tasks according to programmed instructions. Agentic AI, by contrast, can interpret information, reason across multiple sources, develop plans, and execute actions in pursuit of a defined objective. Rather than simply storing organizational knowledge, Agentic AI can actively use that knowledge to support decision making and action. This marks a shift from automating processes to augmenting organizational intelligence. Agentic AI refers to intelligent systems that can pursue goals with a degree of autonomy. Unlike traditional software that responds to a single command, these systems can analyze information, create action plans, make decisions within defined boundaries, execute tasks, learn from outcomes, and adapt their behavior over time. In practical terms, Agentic AI functions less like a conventional software application and more like a digital collaborator capable of contributing to organizational objectives. Most organizations possess vast amounts of knowledge distributed across documents, emails, databases, procedures, and the expertise of employees. Traditional systems are effective at storing this information, but they often struggle to connect it in meaningful ways. Agentic AI can integrate information from multiple sources simultaneously. For example, an AI agent may combine customer records, technical documentation, historical project data, and company policies to support a decision or solve a problem. The value lies not in any single source of information, but in the ability to connect and apply knowledge across the organization. Traditional software performs the same operations repeatedly according to predefined rules. Agentic AI, however, can adapt as circumstances change. As new information becomes available, it can update recommendations, modify plans, and improve outcomes. This adaptability enables organizations to respond more effectively to changing market conditions, evolving customer expectations, and operational challenges. Instead of relying solely on static processes, organizations gain systems that can learn and adjust over time. Agentic AI delivers the greatest value when it works alongside people. Managers continue to define objectives, priorities, and strategic direction, while AI assists by gathering information, generating options, identifying patterns, and executing routine activities. The goal is not to replace human workers, but to amplify their capabilities. By combining human judgment with AI driven support, organizations can achieve higher levels of productivity and effectiveness without necessarily increasing workforce size. For business leaders, the most important question is no longer which AI tool should we buy? Instead, the more strategic question is what organizational capabilities can we build? For decades, technology investments focused primarily on acquiring software. In the era of agentic AI, competitive advantage increasingly depends on building unique forms of organizational intelligence. Two organizations may have access to the same AI models and software platforms, yet the organization that better captures, structures, and operationalizes its knowledge is likely to outperform the other. The reason agentic AI is strategically important is simple. Knowledge becomes executable. Organizational expertise can be transformed into capabilities that are scalable, repeatable, and continuously available. When knowledge is organized and connected to action, it is no longer locked inside individual documents, departments, or employee memories. It becomes part of how the organization operates. This is where agentic AI can create durable advantage. It helps turn collective knowledge into practical execution. Agentic AI has the potential to change the nature of competition. Historically, organizations competed through physical assets, financial capital, distribution networks, and technology platforms. In the future, competitive advantage will increasingly depend on organizational knowledge, learning speed, decision quality, and the effectiveness of human AI collaboration. Organizations that learn and adapt more quickly may outperform competitors with greater resources but slower decision-making processes. As a result, the ability to leverage knowledge effectively becomes a critical strategic asset. The greatest obstacle to successful AI adoption is rarely the technology itself. More often, it is organizational culture. Many companies approach AI as an IT initiative, focusing primarily on software implementation. In reality, agentic AI should be viewed as a business transformation initiative. Success requires executive understanding, employee engagement, knowledge mapping, process redesign, and the development of new operating models. Organizations that treat AI solely as another software tool may achieve incremental improvements. Those that recognize it as a new organizational capability have the potential to achieve transformational results. Over the next decade, agentic AI is likely to become embedded in nearly every business function. Sales teams may use AI agents to prepare for customer interactions and identify opportunities. Operations teams may rely on AI to optimize workflows and improve efficiency. Human resources departments may use AI to support talent development and workforce planning. Executives may increasingly turn to AI systems to analyze scenarios, evaluate strategic options, and support decision making. The question is no longer whether this transformation will occur. The more important question is how quickly organizations will adapt and position themselves to benefit from it. The steam engine mechanized physical work, electricity enabled industrial scale production, computers automated information processing. Agentic AI introduces a new possibility, the augmentation of organizational intelligence. For this reason, many experts view agentic AI not simply as another category of software, but as the beginning of a new management paradigm. The organizations that thrive in the coming decade will not necessarily be those that purchase the most advanced AI technologies. Instead, they will be the organizations that successfully transform their collective knowledge into intelligent, scalable, and continuously improving capabilities.